Hey, I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Tim. Thanks for joining us at Meeting Place.
Yes, we're happy to have you guys. Today we're going to talk about how to pray. Or what is prayer, true prayer.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many scriptures in the Word, but today we're going to go to Matthew chapter 6, 5 through 8. And this is where Jesus is speaking. It says, "And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep babbling on like the pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you even ask Him." So it's so full of just great nuggets. Jesus is saying if you're going into prayer, but it's for the purpose to be seen by others, then don't even go into prayer. You need to stop yourself. The goal is to be seen by the Father. Your audience is God. It's not people. He is your goal. It shouldn't be others. And so this scripture right here is not talking about corporate prayer. There is corporate prayer, and that's important. Jesus is talking about private prayer, intimate prayer with the Father, one-on-one prayer. So this is different, and it's not the same as corporate.
Right.
Can you have intimacy in corporate prayer?
Sure.
Absolutely. But that's not what he's talking about here. If your end game is to be seen by others, don't even play the game.
That's right.
Examine your motives, refocus, reset if you need to. And if you have this issue of wanting the attention, wanting people to see you in prayer, and you go to God and you tell Him, "Lord, I have this issue. I don't want this. I don't want to be like this. I need help." He is quick to meet you. He will meet you right there. But it will take something from you. It will take your part, which is going to Him like you're doing, laying it down, leaving it there, and not picking it back up.
Oh, I
like
think
you
that's
have
the
to
key
turn
thing.
away from that.
I think that's the key thing, because a lot of us, we go to God with our complaints, but then we continue complaining when we're done praying.
Yeah, it's as if the conversation never happened.
Yeah, it's like we don't understand the concept of laying it at the Lord's feet. What's the scripture say? Cast your cares on Him, for He cares for you. When you cast or throw, that in itself means it's not with you anymore. It should be with Him. And too many times, and I've done it, I'm guilty of it myself, we go and we complain or we whine or we bicker, we give it to God, so to speak, but then as soon as we're done praying, we're still talking about it, which means we never let it down.
Sometimes it takes multiple times though. Sometimes you have to lay it down again and again and again. And if you need to keep laying it down, keep laying it down. But stop picking it up.
Right.
And then turn away from it and towards God. Jesus is talking about one-on-one time with God. It is a private party for two. It is not meant to invite everybody. This is a private party. And so when it talks about when you pray, go into your room and close the door. Going into your room, you're setting up an atmosphere. You're setting up a sanctuary, a secret place, a place to focus, a quiet place, a quiet and secluded place. That's where the atmosphere should be. And then your room, people have made up prayer closets. I know there's a room called War Room, right? It doesn't have to be a closet. Many people do that, but it could be your bedroom, your back porch, your front porch, your living room, your car. It doesn't matter where it is, but that's a place that you can meet with God.
That's right.
And when you close the door, it talks about closing that door. It's in the literal and spiritual sense. Literally close that door, shut out those distractions.
Yeah.
In the literal sense. But then God is saying, quiet every distraction. Hush every distraction. Don't bring the distractions in the room with you. Don't allow it.
And I think, especially in today's world, this right here is our number one distraction. Number one distraction, and when I say this right here, I'm talking about the cell phone is the number one distraction in today's world, because it's so easy to have a notification pop up or a text or a message or a call, or we want to see what the world is doing. But if we could just put down the cell phone, I think that would eliminate 90% of our distraction in our daily life right there.
You know, one of the things I do that I started doing probably a year or two ago is leaving my cell phone at home. Not everyone would agree, but for me it works, because I want to give my girls focused attention or my husband focused attention. And I know if it's right there with me everywhere I go, it's a distraction. So some days I'll leave it at home on purpose. He'll have his phone, I won't have mine, and I'll be more engaged. I'll be more focused. I'll give them my complete attention. And that's what God's asking for, our complete attention.
That's the ticket right there. Because what is it? It's quality over quantity.
Yes.
And so when there's no distractions, it's not just because, oh, I'm just not going to have this in here. It's so that we can fully engage with what the Lord's saying. Because if we believe Scripture is true and He says He speaks in a still small voice, then why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So that we can hear everything He says
And then
to
write
us.
it down.
Yeah.
Write it down. So who sees me? Who sees you? If you're in this secret place, the only one that matters is God. He sees and hears everything. It doesn't go unnoticed. There are many who have prayed tears that you've went into your prayer closet, your secret place, and you've warred and you've battled in those places. And God is saying He has seen it. It doesn't go unnoticed. And you will reap a reward at the right time.
That's good.
But it's counted. And it won't be forgotten. And it has shifted things. So do not stop that. The scripture continues and says, and when you pray, do not keep on babbling like the pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them. What does babbling mean anyway? Well, it's defined as the act of talking rapidly or foolishly. For a child, babbling is essential to their development. This is a time where infants experiment with uttering sounds to produce a language. So it's very productive for their growth. But when you're an adult, it's counterproductive. It's not essential. And so God is saying, do not do this. Do not ramble about with meaningless words. Because He's not going to hear you.
Oh, and it also says that He already knows our heart's desires. So when we ramble on, we're essentially wasting our own time.
That's right.
But He says, listen, I know your heart.
Just say it.
Just say it.
Just say it. So Jesus is saying here, speak plainly.
Amen. That's so good, being in that secret place. We love you guys. Can't wait to see you next time.
Bye.